Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Security chiefs. Wike attacks Atiku for criticizing Buhari. Abiodun takes 472.25 billion naira budget to Ogun State Assembly. Nigeria faces debt servicing challenges, DMO warns. IG blames violence, tension on governors. Tinubu to make Southeast Industrial Hub. And First Lady Governor's Wives rally for Tinubu and Shetima in Ilorin. Zenith Tech Fair 2.0 attracts global brand leaders. All right, which story are we starting with?
Okay, I will start with the major headline. So Governor Wike yesterday had invited the flag bearer for Labour Party, Peter Obi, and while he was there, he was responding to some of the journalists, and he was asked about he gave his own opinion on the flag bearer for his own party, PDP, concerning his thoughts on the lopsided appointments made by this present administration, that's President Buhari. And he said that he sees it as being hypocritical because if he cannot, Atiku Abubakar cannot solve the problem of lopsided or unfair appointments within the party, he has no moral rights or justification to talk about President Buhari's appointments with his security chiefs. And he says that they are going to, he now says to Peter Obi that he understands why Peter Obi left to pursue his own ambition, that if he hadn't done so, he would not be where he is, that the party, the way the party, just trying to blame the party. I understand that they're having issues and it's good to sort of push, for different candidates. But at this point, it looks like he's sabotaging his own party. I mean, the flag bearer of your party, whether you like him or not, represents your party. So I hope that PDP and
Governor Wike is on a total
roll. They are going to sort of sort this out.
He has invited Buhari, he's invited Kokonso, he's invited LP, everybody except for Atiku.
At this point, there's no...
to come and commission something in the state, so let's just wait. Another story in Nation, I was going to take the... Asiwaju was actually in Owerri yesterday. He was at a town hall meeting with leaders of the private sector and trade associations where he promised to revive ailing industries and ensure massive development in the southeast to assuage the past difficulties of that region. He's saying that he's going to turn the entire southeast to an industrial hub. He said, my government will rebuild an economy with a growing industrial base, more and better jobs for youth, and more high-quality homegrown produce. He said, we'll establish an industrial hub throughout the nation and modernize existing ones. So he does acknowledge that there are some industries within the southeast, but he will modernize those ones and then build more. He said quite a few things, a number of things that in a way, but it's interesting to know that he's able to go town hall meetings across it. He's done in Lagos, he's done also, I think, in different states in the north, and he's not going to the southeast, which is a good thing. Let's take another story in Nation.
The DG of the Debt Management Office, Miss Patience Oniha, says that, our dealing revenue and borrowing will make it difficult for us to service, our outstandings. Debts that Nigeria is owing outside and within the country. And she also says that, the inflation rates increasing across developed nations due to the Ukraine-Russia issue has, further made it difficult. That, before the United States just recently increased to 15% from their 13% interest rates. And of course, this will affect countries like Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya, who will not be able to borrow while servicing existing debts, and will now the servicing for existing debt also will now attract additional interest. And I'm wondering, except that debt is restructured, the cost of the servicing, the percentage for servicing that debt is what is in the contract for the borrowing. Does it just change according to countries' wills? Is it allowed to continue outside the contract to change the interest rate? But that was what she said, and she said that because at the core of borrowing is revenue generation, and revenue generation now is very tough in Nigeria particularly. We will have difficulty in the coming years to service our debts and borrow.
Okay, so the National Security Advisor, NSA, Major General Babagana Bugunu, was speaking in the House trying to defend the budget for 2023, and he said that Nigerians are wailing, Nigerians are suffering, and there's a huge insecurity challenge within the country, and that they need to they need to, the budgets, talking about the budget and where the money is going to, he said that they have, the conversation around intelligence gathering needs to be financed because the major challenge is asymmetrical, as according to what he said. And so they need to be able to gather information from the locals as well as on a global scale. He mentioned and he appraised the effort of the DSS, the NIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, and he's saying that these people have been doing a whole lot and he wants to commend their effort. And he mentioned that the budget for security dropped a bit between 2022 and 2023, while the chairman for the budget was appealing to them that whatever they need to do, secure Nigeria pre and post elections, do whatever you need to do to ensure that happens.
Moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Looted funds, we've placed many governors on watch list, says EFCC chair. IGP accuses some governors of sponsoring political violence. Tinubu unfolds economic plan for Southeast, pledges industrial boom in zone. Troops deploy 44 illegal refineries, destroy 44 illegal refineries, arrest 29 oil thieves, rescue 41 abductees. PDP holds Umbrella Day in Lagos for Atiku and Okowa. Oh, nice. I didn't know about that. Buhari, Sultan Oyegun task ASU, other trade unions on negotiation strike. Brigade promises Obi logistics support during LP campaign in Rivers. Gates Foundation targets health, agric, gender equality in Nigeria, Kenya, and others. Nigeria redesign. We need more time to evacuate money from the forest. Mieti Allah begs CBN. Can we start with Mieti Allah?
Yes, so Mieti Allah, Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, speaking, the chairman of the group in the Southeast, Alhaji Gidado, was talking to newsmen in Oka and Anambra State, saying that the deadline that has been given for people to return the current 200, 500, and 1,000 naira notes is too short for a lot of them, who are, especially those who are in the forest and have no access to communication, TV and other form of telecommunications. And so they need to reach out to them and get them to bring their evacuate the money and bring it to the banks, and that it will take them about 3 months. So they're asking for an extended deadline. They said this had happened to them in the 1980s, where the CBN had given a similar policy, but they were not giving enough time. They only give about 2 weeks, and a lot of people lost their savings because they had them in the bank. Now, for me, this brings up a lot of questions. First of all, why do we have till today people, you know, hoarding their monies in the forest? So there's still a major distrust for banks. And then secondly, wouldn't this allow for, you know, some unscrupulous people take advantage of this, get monies, you know, that is, you know, that is not clean and try and put it through them and into the bank? I feel that I would like to see how the CBN addresses this. Yeah.
Well, let me
go on a quick break. When I come back, we'll continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Daily Sun. I have the story on the IGP. So the IGP, Usman Baba, was speaking yesterday that he had blamed the increasing cases of political violence on some state governors. He was saying specifically that we have been receiving reports of some state governors who encourage political thugs. They use subnational security under their own purview to control and disrupt seamless, statutorily guaranteed campaign activities of parties that are opposing to them. He also said that he blamed most of these incidents on political extremism, misinformation, intolerance, wrong political orientation, hate speeches, incitement and desperation of strategic actors. And he was addressing that the governors must be able to find a way to stop this and reorientate their supporters to allow other parties to have a seamless campaign within their state. He says that they are frustrated competing political parties all the time. I think this has been raised in every campaign or in every election. We get this report saying some states are not allowing other parties to run there, to post there, put their posters up. So I think the Inspector General is saying, listen, you are also encouraging these thugs to take advantage of this.
Let's take the major headlines. So the EFCC Oga, Abdurrashid Bawa was talking about stashed, you know, the benefits of the new Naira design. And he said that they are monitoring more governors than he earlier announced, which were 3 of them. He said that they have surveillance on more governors now. And he's also encouraging Nigerians to assist in exposing corrupt politicians. He says that this new Naira design has helped CBN bring out Nairas that should be in circulation, that are kept out of circulation and causing us hardship. He mentioned that it is money laundering to do a 5 million Naira transaction as an individual outside the banking, financial institutions, and also as a corporate entity to do a transaction of 10 million above outside the financial institutions. So
That
you can't do
validates the MACBAN ones
Yeah.
because you cannot have
Exactly.
more than that money with you.
in cash. You shouldn't have more than that money in cash. So I'm hoping that they too expand their net and do not allow legitimizing by announcing certain illegalities.
Please, I want to take the story of military. Good news from the military. The Director of Defense Media Operation, Major General Musa Damandami, I said that they were able to destroy 32 wooden boats, 73 storage tanks, and 129 cooking ovens. They were also able to recover 512,000 liters of stolen crude oil. They found refined AGO, that's the diesel, about 114,000 liters, and 1,000 liters of petrol, 40 vehicles, 3 motorcycles, 3 generators, 5 pumping machines. 29 criminals were caught, and 104 rounds of special ammunition were found on them. This is good for Nigeria because we're battling with the fact that a lot of our crude oil is being illegally stolen. You know, there's bunkery and all of that. So I really celebrate the military for their good work on this.
Right. Moving on quickly now to Vanguard. 133 million Nigerians poor, says NBS. Tinubu to Southwest, stop complaining, I'll address your grievances. Nigeria to produce additional 255,000 barrels per day as SNEPCO completes maintenance. 2023, governors to blame for violence, says IGP. U.S. threatens visa ban on election riggers, backs adoption of beavers. Naira redesigned, more governors now under EFCC watches Bawa. Soludo, other critics from your state envious, Wike tells Obi. UTM offshore JGC Technip emergency signed agreements on Nigeria's FLNG. FG says debt sustainability threatened by low revenue. INEC staff registered underage vote, says Igini. And insecurity, Nigerians suffering whipping, wailing, and mourning, says Mungono. Okay.
Major headline.
Yes, major headline.
So the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics reeled out what they call the 2022 Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index based on the Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index survey yesterday, and they said that 63% of our population is, are poor, and that makes up 133 million of the 200 and above million that we have. And they said half of that number are children. So 2 out of every Nigerians are poor, and they said this puts them under lack and of all possible deprivations in terms of health, education, living standards, work, and shocks. And it's a breakdown of the dimension of poverty used by this MPI includes nutrition, which we talked about, which we learned a lot about yesterday, food insecurity, time to health care, school attendance, year of schooling and school lag. Others are water reliability, sanitation, housing materials, cooking fuel, assets, unemployment, underemployment, and security shocks. And this, if they put it well, I'm sure the numbers will be above that. 65% of our poor people, that's 86 million of this, 133 million live in the north, while 35%, which is about nearly 47 million, live in the south. Wow. And they gave a breakdown of each state. Shockingly, Kano, highest number, even Rivers is inside. Akwa Ibom is among the top 10 most poor states in Nigeria. And so it's not about resources. It's not about facility and access.
Has been getting 30% derivative for years.
Yes, so it has to be about much more. Yeah. I don't want to just say governance, but...
All
right.
Yes, I have a story. So the United States, through its political counselor of the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, Rolf Olson, he was at the Hubert Humphrey Fellowship Alumni Association annual seminar, and it was themed Promoting Electoral Integrity in Nigeria. And he was just talking about the fact that the U.S. is very adamant on and threatening anyone who's found culpable or found guilty of interfering with the electioneering process, either by rigging or causing violence. they would sanction that person and they would restrict, they ban them from entering, their country. They said they've done this before, where they impose visa restrictions on some individuals for their actions in the November 2019 Kogi and Bayelsa state elections and also October 2020. And that is just to show their commitment to strengthening the democracy in Nigeria. And he also said that it's very worrying when they find out, when they see in the media, he says even traditional media, where they would say something and then they'll be accused and their words are twisted. He says it's very easy to understand them, that one, they have no candidate. They're just only, they're only committed to seeing that democracy is, continues in Nigeria, and that they back the BVS that INEC has introduced into the electioneering process, and they see that this will help in a very way to give a free and fair elections coming 2023.
All right, still on the EFCC and the redesigning of the Naira. So he was still speaking yesterday after his meeting with the president. He was saying that he had reminded us that they had initially announced that the EFCC had previously had 3 governors who were on their watch list on the suspicion that they might attempt to launder stashed cash in their possession before the deadline. However, when he was speaking to reporters, he said that on that issue, it looks like... Oh, sorry,
continue.
Yeah. On that issue, it looks like the number may have increased. We are monitoring everything the governors are doing, and Nigerians are also helping. Well, I don't want to give you the figures so that you don't think that, or you don't begin to speculate where the governor is from, but it should have the governors that they are watching them very closely.
Very closely.
So they have stashed money in your houses. They are watching you.
Let me quickly take another announcement made by the Resident Electoral Commissioner for Osun State, Mutiu Agboke. He said that he was giving an orientation to the Batch C Stream 1 members of the core members at the camp. And he said that if any core member that signs up to work during the election is found doing any electoral malpractice, you get money, you collect money, you'll be prosecuted. That they've had a good relationship since INEC partnered with NYSC. It's been a very good relationship, and that they want to maintain that. And they're announcing to everybody that before you become before you are signed up to work with the INEC officials during election, you'll be made to sign an undertaking that you'll be prosecuted if you are found to have been culpable in any malpractice. He also lauded the beavers as a good way to ensure there is little human influence in aiding any malpractice within the elections. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, we have to wrap up, but let me just take the final stories in Nigerian Tribune. Let's see a story we've not taken. Using cannabis to cook dangerous, condemnable, says NDLA boss. We are happy G5 governor still with us. PDP Presidential Council says we are committed to tiding over. We are committed to tidying voter register, says INEC. U.S. issues fresh visa sanction, threats and instigators of violence, and police arraign auxiliary over destruction of APC billboards in Oyo. Is there any story that we've not taken there? Let's move on quickly.
The NDLA headline is obvious because I couldn't find the story inside. So
yeah. Well, I saw on the NDLA where they were showing that they removed them.
Some parts of this country
of yam.
But some part of this country, this thing is a normal vegetable and they cook with it regularly for many years. Yes, ma'am.
No.
People cook with it now.
No,
it's not right, even now that it's legal.
No, I'm sure they don't do it like it's a cultural vegetable that they eat. That they know what they're doing. It's not about...